Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. Welcome for the yearly horoscope now for Aquarius. And this is actually a year in general for everyone that should be a bit better, should be a bit less difficult, but of course, again, this has nothing, does it? This is really, really general. Because a lot of outer planets are getting in a nicer aspect with each other. But let's have a look at Aquarians. The most important thing, I think, is eclipses in your sign. Eclipses in your sign for Aquarius. So you will be having the North Node in Leo and the South Node in your sign. What does it mean? And that happens, the eclipses happen in February and in August. So there will be a full moon in Leo, so the sun will be in Aquarius in February, and then in August there will be a full moon in Aquarius and a new moon in Leo. So that's significant for you. Of course, when that happens in your sign indirectly, you take along the connection line of the first and the seventh house, which is relationships. But the emphasis of Aquarians here this year, and I'm going to have a look when the nodes are shifting, and that happens already in May time 2017. Then the nodes are going from Virgo to Leo, and the South node from Pisces to Aquarius, and then for the whole year. So for Aquarians, the message is really about letting go a lot. It's and it's about, for one person, it will have to do with the situation at work, for instance. For another person, it will have to do with the relationship. Whatever it is, a lot of because your sun is in Aquarius or your ascendant, and the South node passing there at a particular point, it means to let go of some parts of your ego, of some parts of your identity. And some people have less difficulty with doing that, and others a bit more difficulties. But it's definitely for the Aquarians a year to reach out to others, because the North Node is where we need to grow the fastest, and you grow the fastest by reaching out, by letting other people into your life and asking for help if you need to, but also not only for help, it's more like you getting out there to meet new people because you need them. You need them. With the North Node in your seventh house, it's like you are having a year. It doesn't matter what your age is. You are having a year here where you can learn so much more about relationships than a normal year. It's like 3-4 times more because and that starts with letting go of parts of yourself that are no longer suiting you, that are dead actually. So if you, for instance, have identified for such a long time with a specific job, for instance, or you identify yourself with your job way too much, and you know deep down inside that it's dead, it's time for doing something new, then this year can emphasize that. Okay, but more in the monthly horoscopes. It's sometimes it's tricky to start new things, but sometimes it's people find it a bit more difficult to let go of certain parts of themselves. But that brings in new people, so that's something to look forward to for Aquarians. They're gonna meet a lot of new people. So what else? There is, as I said, now a better aspect, so to speak, between two big planets, which is Saturn and Uranus. So Saturn is a Sagittarius, will be for the whole year there. I mean, it shifts at the very end of the year, in 21st of December, I think, that it goes into Capricorn, but for the whole year it will stay in Sagittarius, which is your 11th house. So the same as last year. And Saturn in the 11th house can put a little bit of a dimmer, or a bit can be a bit harder when it comes to you connecting with others. But at the same time, I've seen people with Saturn in the 11th having less friends, but more important friends, more deep connections. So it depends on your situation. Now, whatever, if it was difficult to relate to others last year. If it was difficult for you Aquarians to have new aspirations, because the ancient ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and you are there in your own house, in that 11th house, it means that you're structuring your friend circle, but also your aspirations for the future. You, together with the Sagittarians, I think, are the ones that are very much aimed towards the future and to improve that. So definitely Aquarius is the, in my point of view, the sign of hope and the sign of, yes, liberté, égalité, fraternité, of freedom as well. And that might have been a bit blocked last year, but now this is going to change because Saturn is making a beautiful trine with Uranus throughout the whole year, but especially in May and November. And this is good because this is trining Uranus in your 3rd house of another social house. So the 3rd and the 11th house, I probably spoke about this already in the monthly horoscope of December of 2016, but Saturn and Uranus, both your rulers, during the whole year you will feel that there is like new information, Uranus in your 3rd, new information, new connections, internet, website, not websites, internet, meeting people through the internet, and then making it real with Saturn in your 11th house. It's quite a social year for you Aquarians. It's going, and it's quite stable as well. So it's like old friends mixing with the new. It's old ideas that are good, keeping them, but mixing with new ideas. It's what you Aquarians are all about. Your 2 rulers, the ancient and the modern one, are making a trine. So in your thinking house and in your house of relationships. So if you're single or married or whatever, you're gonna meet new people. And you're gonna stick to some old people that you know, not old people, but old friends as well. So there's like a balance there. And that's beautiful for you Aquarians. Also, you who are working in communications, publishing, internet, YouTube, it's all very much favored. You know, it's like very stable and very refreshing as well. What else? There's, and last but not least, there's a Venus retrograde as well in that house. So there's no Mars retrograde. I'm not going to talk about the Mercury retrogrades. They are not that important for you, but the Venus is. The Venus retrograde in Aries. So again, in Aries, in that 3rd house of your communication sector, Venus going back and forwards. What does it mean? That happens, by the way, around March, April, May, June, around that time. Venus goes retrograde. So it always means that we are going to re-evaluate something. For you, it can be a person, how you think about a person, because it's in your 3rd house of thinking. It could be also a connection with a sibling. It could be someone from the environment. But there is like, you think this way and then you think another way. So for better or for worse, it could mean, for instance, that you're thinking about someone or you're getting to know someone through the internet, for instance, and you think, they're not so great, I don't know, I'm doubting. And then all of a sudden, by having some events that are happening, you're seeing more reality, more information comes your way, and you're positively surprised. You think, oh yeah, I'm going to make this relationship happen. It could mean the other way around as well, that you are over enthusiastic in the beginning, and then later on you think, nah, it's not what I thought it was. Could be the case as well. But that is when you want to start a new relationship. So it could be a bit of a reflecting time there, which is not wrong at all. Venus retrograde, it could also mean reconnecting with a sibling. But as I said, it could also mean learning something new that you used to learn, you stopped, and maybe learning a new language even. But Venus in the 3rd, and you're gonna like that. So very fiery energy over there. Now, last but not least, Jupiter in that same 3rd house in the 9th house for you, squaring up to Pluto. So Jupiter in the 9th is wonderful. It means for all Aquarians, it gives them an opportunity to perceive very broad, very different levels, seeing a lot. Maybe not so in detail, but having the bigger picture there. A lot of you might start a new course, studies, or teaching others as well. It's great to teach others with Jupiter in your 9th house, maybe traveling a little bit more. And that squares up to Pluto in your 12th house. So again, it could mean that you are connecting more with people from abroad, and it transforms you. So that's Pluto in the 12th house. The transformation is happening there. And it's like maybe a book that you read, or maybe a connection with someone from abroad gives you more insight into the deepest levels of your unconsciousness, and that transforms you. That's Pluto there in the 12th house. Then Jupiter shifts it to the 10th house at the 11th of October. But that will be more in 2018. But that's great for anything that has to do with work, anything that has to do with expansion, learning, teaching. I mentioned a lot those words, didn't I? But it's certainly in October, November, December, some growth waiting for you there when it comes to work. Having said that, I wish you, dear Aquarians, a very good year. It's a year of many opportunities, but the opportunities comes by letting go of a lot of stuff that doesn't suit you any longer. There is possibility with networking, a lot of networking, friends, and you like that, you Aquarians. Also in your very close relationships, to have that friendly connection there. And with work, as I said, towards the end of the year, there's a big possibility of improvement as well. Having said that, wish you all the best. Wish you a very, very good year of 2017. Thank you. Bye-bye.